Golf is full of drama, but sometimes the game serves up stories so unbelievable you almost wonder if they were scripted. A man crushed by a car who came back to win a US Open. A 21-year-old who tore apart Augusta like he owned the place. Collapses that felt impossible. Comebacks that read like fairy tales. These moments don't just live in the record books, they live in disbelief. Today we're asking, did these really happen as we saw them, or were they too perfect to be true? Moment 1. Miracle at Merion, 1950 US Open. Ben Hogan's 1950 US Open win at Merion feels like something that couldn't possibly happen in real life. 16 months earlier, he was nearly killed in a head-on collision with a Greyhound bus. Doctors weren't sure he'd walk again, let alone play championship golf. And yet there he was, limping back into the spotlight, determined to prove the world wrong. The scenes almost look staged. Hogan grinding through every hole, then pulling out that legendary one-iron into the 72nd green, a shot that still feels unreal today. He forced a playoff against Lloyd Mangrum and George Fazio, and somehow he won. A 287 total on broken legs with a battered body and a spirit that refused to quit. The score tells part of the story, but not the disbelief. Hogan rebuilt his swing around pain and stubborn practice. Watching it now, it doesn't seem possible. It feels less like golf history and more like a miracle. Moment 2. Tiger Woods wins 1997 Masters. What happened at Augusta in 1997 almost defies belief. A 21-year-old Tiger Woods didn't just show up, he dismantled the Masters like no one before him. Shot after shot, round after round, he took control of the course as if it were built for him. His final total? 270, 18 under par. And the margin? 12 strokes, the biggest in Masters history. It's the kind of number that makes you double-check the scoreboard. The way he did it makes it even stranger. Scores of 70, 66, 65, 69. Power off the tee, ice in his veins, and a focus that never cracked. The final Sunday didn't look like a contest. It looked like a coronation. Crowds roared, cameras locked in, and even the doubters stood there, stunned. But here's the thing. Was it just pure brilliance? Or was the drama too perfect to be true? Was it an attempt to pull emotion from millions watching? Maybe even a way to make headlines and push golf into a new era? Whatever it was, Tiger didn't just win a green jacket. He announced himself as something bigger than the sport. Moment 3. Tiger Woods wins 2000 US Open. Tiger Woods at Pebble Beach in 2000 didn't just win the US Open. He dismantled it. Over 4 days, he posted 65, 69, 71, 67 for a 272-12, and walked away 15 shots clear, the largest margin ever in a modern major. Pebble's wind and sea had met their match. Tiger's tee-to-green mastery and chainsaw focus made every round look clinical and inevitable. Commentators kept reaching for metaphors and came up short. The adjective dominant felt too polite. Watching him on those greens feels like watching a higher-level player run through club steps, a person playing chess while everyone else plays checkers. The scorecard reads like a ledger of authority. Eagles, birdies, no excuses. But the real shock was the scale. 15 shots. In a major. It's a number that undercuts credibility. You keep replaying the highlights to make sure your eyes aren't lying. After Pebble, debates about greatness started and rarely stopped, and the golf world quietly rearranged. Moment 4. Greg Norman collapses in 1996. Masters. Greg Norman's 1996 Masters collapse almost doesn't seem real when you watch it back. Through 3 rounds, he looked untouchable. An opening 63, a 6-shot lead, the kind of cushion that felt impossible to blow. But then Sunday arrived, and everything unraveled in front of millions of eyes. It wasn't one giant mistake, and that's what makes it feel so strange. Shot by shot, the cracks appeared. A missed read here, a shaky swing there. At Amen Corner, the pressure squeezed tighter, and you could almost see the confidence draining out of him. Nick Faldo, cool as ice, kept piling on steadily, posting a 67 while Norman stumbled to a 78. By the end, the scoreboard said Norman lost by 5 shots. 5! From being 6 ahead. The math looks broken, but the broadcast shows it clearly. It really happened. Watching it today feels surreal, like seeing someone misplace a victory right in front of you. Moment 5. Shawn Michaels' finish at 2003 PGA. Shaun Michele's finish at Oak Hill in the 2003 PGA Championship seems like a happy ending from a Christmas movie. Ranked 169th in the world and winless in 163 PGA Tour starts, he got to the 18th hole clinging to a one-shot lead. From 174 yards, he hoisted a 7-iron. The ball landed softly on the elevated green, trickled across the slope, and stopped within 3 inches of the cup. The gallery held its breath. The broadcast tried to find words. That shot turned was out of this world, a journeyman's improbable major. He finished at 276 of 4, 2 strokes clear, but the scorecard understates the shock. For a golfer few expected, the tiny bounce and inch-perfect stop felt staged, too neat, too cinematic. When players talk about miracles in majors, the image is often Michele's quiet fist pump and the soft clink of the pin. It still stuns. Before we move on, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed, because you don't want to miss what's next. We've covered some wild golf history already, but the upcoming moment might just be the biggest hoax in PGA lore. Stick around. It only gets crazier from here. Moment 6. Bubba Watson triumphs at 2012 Masters. Bubba Watson's green jacket moment in 2012 seems unreal because it literally defied the course. In a sudden death playoff with Louis Oosthuizen, Watson's second shot on the downhill 10th landed deep in the pine straw, with trees blocking any obvious route to the hole. Instead of backing up or chipping sideways, Watson ripped a hooked gap wedge. He later said it was around a 52-degree that crept under branches, looped wildly, and appeared to come from another planet as it soared onto the green and settled about 10 feet from the cup. The TV captured the disbelief. Caddies hugging, crowds roaring, and Watson himself crying like he had finally forgiven the game. Oosthuizen missed his par chance and Watson two-putted for the win. The shot plays like magic because it was a low-percentage, impossible escape executed with terrifying confidence. People still pause the highlight and can't believe it today. Too good to be true. Moment 7. Jordan Spieth 2016 Masters collapse. Jordan Spieth's 2016 Masters collapse at the par 3 12th feels fake because of how quickly everything evaporated. He started Sunday playing like a man possessed, birdieing and stretching a lead that by the turn ballooned to 5 shots. Then came Amen Corner's Little River. His tee shot on 12 came up short into Rays Creek. He hit another ball into the water. The image of Spieth walking off the 12th, stunned and haunted, is seared into golf memory. What makes it appear unreal is the scale. 1 minute you're watching a potential repeat champion sculpt history. The next, it's as if the script was ripped up and given to someone else. It was brutal, sudden, and heartbreakingly unforgettable. Still. Moment 8. Tiger Woods wins 2008 US Open. Truth is stranger than fiction. Nowhere does that line hit harder than Tiger Woods at Torrey Pines in 2008. Here was a man with a torn ACL and stress fractures in his leg, basically broken, and yet he kept swinging like pain was just background noise. Round after round, he clawed his way into a tie with Rocco Mediate, dragging himself into an 18-hole playoff. And somehow he wasn't finished. He limped, grimaced, and looked ready to collapse at any moment. But whenever you thought it was over, Tiger found another answer. Monday's playoff stretched into sudden death, and when Mediate missed his par, Tiger, hobbling and exhausted, took the win. It felt unreal. This wasn't just sport, it was a myth unfolding in real time. How does someone that hurt still conquer the world? Grit, luck, or something beyond belief? Watching it, you couldn't help but question if the moment was something that was perfectly created. Moment 9. Phil Mickelson wins 2021 PGA. Phil Mickelson's win at Kiawah Island in 2021 is the kind of story you'd expect in fiction, not on a scorecard. At 50 years old, with his prime supposedly behind him, Mickelson battled one of the toughest courses in major history, and didn't just survive, he conquered. His opening 70 set the tone, and through the wind-battered ocean course, he produced vintage short-game wizardry and fearless drives. By Sunday, with Brooks Koepka and Louis Oosthuizen breathing down his neck, Phil's calm swagger made it look like time had turned back. The roars grew, the galleries swarmed, and the final tap-in for a 2-shot win felt seismic. At 6, he became the oldest major champion ever, a record that still sounds fake, even when you repeat it. What makes it unforgettable is the mix of nostalgia and shock. Lefty wasn't supposed to be there, but he was. smiling, fist-pumping, rewriting history in real time. Moment 10. Tiger Woods' dream. Comeback 2019 Masters. Tiger Woods' 2019 Masters win almost feels like something out of a movie. But are we sure it really happened the way we remember? For 11 years, no majors, 4 brutal back surgeries, scandals that had everyone calling his career finished. The man was supposed to be done, and yet on that Sunday in Augusta, he somehow pulled off the impossible. It started slow. Steady swings, careful play. Then, out of nowhere, the birdies rolled in. At the exact moment his rivals stumbled at Amen Corner, Tiger surged. Was this skill? Was it fate? Or just the craziest timing in golf history? By the 18th hole, he stood there with the win in his hands. 275, 13 under par. One shot better than Koepka, Johnson, and Schauffele. But the scorecard doesn't explain the goosebumps. The hug with his kids, his mom, the deja vu of 1997. It felt unreal, like the sport had bent time itself. Too perfect, almost scripted. 10 moments, 10 pieces of golf history that feel more like myths than reality. Even with the clips, the numbers, and the trophies, part of you still questions, did we actually witness this? Or did golf give us illusions so perfect they still leave us shaking our heads? What do you think, miracles, luck, or something stranger? Drop your thoughts below. And if you want more stories that blur the line between sport and legend, hit like, subscribe, and stick around for the next one.